What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chaos. My name is the-tek, and today we're checking out something that was recommended by our analog horror expert themselves. It's called The Real. I've got the playlist up right now, so I don't know how much of this we're going to get through, but they all seem like they're like just a few minutes long, but I only have a short time span to record this in because it's actually late at night. I'm tired. Really, I don't have any other excuse other than that. So we're going to start this. I don't know how far through season 1 we're going to get through because there's 2 seasons. I forgot to mention that. We're going to start with The Real, season 1 by For Gnome. Oh, it's Anomaly. It's right there. All right, let's just get this started. However, before we do, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you really like what I do and you want to support me further than that, you can always become a channel member. It helps support out the channel a lot, and I'll really appreciate it. You'll get special perks like members-only live streams and members-only videos, that type of stuff. And with that out of the way, let's get to the thing. Okay. Hallway. Uh-huh. Well, is somebody moving around? There's no one sleeping in that bed. That's weird. Okay. This kind of reminds me of, like, the security camera footage that you would see in, like, creepypastas and stuff. Okay, here comes somebody. Oh. What? Oh, hey, whoa. Go back a little bit. As with all these, I need to examine the footage a little bit further. Oh, there's a little robot head there. I see it. It's a little robot head. Something here. What is it? What is it? What am I looking at? Ah! A human! There's a silhouette of a human! Or maybe it's the Rake. Or some other creepypasta monster. I see you. It's right there. Aliens. Alright, I'm gonna continue. Oh, whoa. All right, we have a message from the government. You can tell because this says e pluribus uranium. This is a national alert. All citizens are required to remain vigilant due to the escape of an extremely dangerous entity. This is some SCP stuff. The government mandates the following preventative actions. Failure to comply with which may result in imprisonment or internment due to imminent biological risk. All right. I'll take my chances, but all right, yeah, maybe I'll shoot the thing. Okay, maybe I should cancel any public funerals. Why funerals specifically? Remove all mannequins from commercial stores. Burn any photograph that includes human beings. Remove all mirrors from homes, buildings, hospitals, commercials, establishments, etc. I've got a mirror literally right behind me, so I guess I gotta get rid of that real quick. Every individual must carry a visible documentation of identification at all times, both outside and inside home. Well, mine's on me right now, so we're good. Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo-ba-doo. Bars. Dr. Andrew Becker. We have been monitoring an entity for the past 2 months. We have enclosed it in a 4-meter thick concrete container and monitoring it with an internal camera. Okay. The entity appears to be motionless, although we have found it in 2 different positions when not under observation. This is extremely bizarre, but despite lacking facial features, it seems to interact with the camera. It likes to be on camera. Camera 1. Oh. It looks like a mannequin. I can see why they want to remove all mannequins from stores. Following photographs were taken using different spectrums of light, and revealed a strange face after the transformation that lasted almost a shit ton of hours. I muted the thing for some reason. 106 hours, okay. Okay, interesting. Oh. Well, that's different. The entity remains always silent. However, some laboratory workers reported feeling that the figure spoke directly to them through the screens. Weird. HR and SD, the two permanent camera monitors had to be hospitalized in critical condition after 3 weeks. That doesn't sound too good. Sounds like some workplace hazards that I do not want. Strange infection and numerous tumors rapidly spread across their faces. Wow, that's terrifying. Oh. Well, that's not pleasant.
Justement parce que quelque chose se manifeste qui n'est tout de même strictement inséré.
Jacques Lacan, éminent psychiatre français, a mené tout au long de sa vie une enquête intense sur l'ontologie, la linguistique et la psyché des vérités de la réalité. Sa théorie la plus célèbre, celle des 3 registres, propose une dimension radicale de l'existence à laquelle nous ne pouvons accéder directement, seulement à travers une rencontre traumatisante avec l'impossible.
I hope you guys got that, because I'm not going back and reading it. So apparently, like, there are other dimensions that we can access through trauma? Yeah, his famous theory is that of 3 registers propose a radical dimension of existence. I guess I'm reading it now.
De l'existence à laquelle nous ne pouvons accéder directement, seulement à travers une rencontre traumatisante avec l'impossible. Ce réel est une
This real is a structure elusive to the mind where existence is shaped.
Structure insaisissable par l'esprit, où l'existence se configure selon des paramètres défiant la compréhension.
Parameters that defy understanding.
L'homme, dans son intérêt infini,
man in his infinite interest to go beyond himself could accidentally create
à aller au-delà de lui-même, pourrait accidentellement créer une brèche
a catastrophic breach if he attempted to access the real. Okay,
catastrophique s'il tentait.
That is, God, what the hell was his name? The go to sleep kid. The one with the big smile, the creepypasta one. That's that dude, right?
D'accéder au réel. Dans le réel,
in the real, there is no identity, no figures.
Il n'y a pas d'identité.
There's an identity right there.
Pas de figure, seulement l'horreur.
Only horror and uncertainty, just like real life. We're back to this now. Uh-huh. Yes. Understandable. Whoa, wait a second. I'm hoping that's laundry. If not, there could be a dead body there. Oh. Well. That right there looks like a problem. Oh. That is a problem. And we're just going straight into the next one. Alright, so far I'm slightly creeped out. I also want to mention, this was labeled by a residential horror expert as being fun. Whatever that means.
This is an instructional video intended for proper qualified personnel in the treatment, study, safeguarding, and storage of entities and phenomena. The public scientific disclosure of which would constitute a tearing apart of the fabric of civilization.
Thank you, Stephen Hawking. Tape number 1. The Everyday Reality.
Everyday reality refers to the objective and tangible existence of the world around us, independent of our individual perceptions and beliefs.
Well, thank you for that. Go tell Morpheus, because apparently he doesn't know what reality is, because he keeps asking, what is real?
It encompasses all the events, objects, phenomena, and processes that make up the universe, including both the observable and the unobservable.
Yeah, so what of it?
Reality is characterized by its capacity to direct
What was that? Did he burp?
and processes that make up the universe, including both the observable and the unobservable. Reality is characterized by its capacity to directly influence and impact our lives, and it can be studied and understood through different disciplines such as physics, biology, psychology, and philosophy. While our interpretations and understandings of reality may vary, reality itself is considered a fundamental and objective concept
That's Cthulhu right there.
that exists beyond our individual perceptions.
Okay, well, on to tape 2, I guess. Qu'est-ce que la rue? Le real. Qu'est-ce que le real? I hope that's how you pronounce that. I don't know. I don't know French, guys. Never even studied it. Well, once in high school, but I forgot it.
Dans la théorie de Jacques Lacan,
Oh, great. More reading. In Jacques Lacan. Jacques Lacan? I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm going to butcher this, by the way. In Jacques Lacan's theory, the concept of the real does not
le concept du réel ne se réfère pas
simply refer to the physical or material, but rather to a dimension
simplement au
of
physique ou au matériel, mais plutôt à une dimension de
experience that is fundamentally inaccessible
l'expérience qui est
and
fondamentalement
disturbing.
inaccessible et perturbante. Il
Okay.
ne peut être pleinement capturé
It cannot be
par
fully
le
captured
langage ou
by
les
language or
représentations
the
mentales
mental
que nous construisons pour
representations we construct to make
donner
sense
un
of the
sens
world.
au monde.
Oh,
Pour l'auteur
okay.
français,
For the French author, I can't even speak English. For the French author, fucking hell. For the French author, everyday reality is
la réalité
mediated by
quotidienne est médiatisée par le langage et les symboles
language
que nous
and symbols
utilisons
that
pour la
we use to
représenter.
represent it.
Cette
Reprint. The symbolic mediation creates a subjective experience of
médiation
reality,
symbolique
man.
crée une expérience subjective de la réalité qui est façonnée
This is shaped by our beliefs, prejudices, and individual
par
fantasies.
nos croyances, nos préjugés et nos fantasmes individuels. Le réel, quant
The real,
à lui, surgit
on the other hand, intrudes into our lives in ways that confront
dans nos vies de manière à nous
confront
confronter au manque de
us with the
correspondance
lack of correspondence between our representations and direct
entre nos
experience.
représentations et l'expérience directe. C'est ce qui soutient l'appareil
It is that which sustains the apparatus of existence itself. The real manifests itself through the inexplicable. I can't fucking read either.
même de l'existence. Le réel se manifeste à travers l'inexplicable, l'incompréhensible
Oh, God. The incomprehensible and the traumatic, and it is a disruptive
et le traumatique, et c'est une force perturbatrice
force that disturbs our illusion of control and mastery over the
qui
world.
trouble notre illusion de contrôle et
Yep.
de domination sur le monde.
Is that all? Tape number 3. Please tell me it's in English. What then exists in the real?
To understand what exists in this realm called the real, it is necessary to engage in the highest exercise of mental abstraction.
Psychedelics, baby.
While the real can be perceived through the senses and manifested in concrete objects, this is merely an imaginary way of being processed by the human mind, derived from what can be seen as an image.
More proof that birds aren't real.
Due to the physical limitations of the organism and the tendency towards the survival of subjective psychic experience, these phenomena present themselves through a collective and individual imaginary. These supposed entities fracture existence and create an unassimilable gap after traumatic experiences or failures in
Wrong. These are spy drones right here.
the known reality. Warning. Phenomena of the real may be collectively perceived as everyday objects. However, despite certain reports, although many people may see the exact same thing, certain digital devices would interpret them differently, and some individuals would apprehend them with forms and characteristics that differ from those commonly described.
Huh. Oh, cool. Okay. Hang on, before I read any of this, it kind of plays on an idea that I've like, it was a question that I had the entire time. It's like, how do we know what one person sees is the exact same thing as what another person sees? Like, how do I know that the color red for me is the same color red for you, kind of thing? And I think this series is kind of playing on that a little bit. Anyway, moving on. Personnel are advised to carry a unique identification document at all times. Mandatory. This picture is mandatory.
The real could even be interpreted by the mind in the form of a friend, a child, or any
Probably
other
exists.
person.
Probably exists.
Although the identification card
Probably
is
doesn't
not
exist.
foolproof, It has reported an effectiveness of 28% compared to
Identifying
other
oneself
methods
through legal
that have failed
documentation reduces the
outright.
probability of encountering a real by
It appears that
28%.
the real primarily manifests in the human mind through organic entities.
This woman has
Rarely
also been
have
described
experiences
like
with
this by
inanimate
other people.
objects been reported. However, the
Bizarre.
latter have exhibited the most volatile, dangerous, and risky characteristics for maintaining the stability of reality.
Okay, well, tape 4 then. The real testing. Okay. This is a test that should only be undergone by authorized and properly trained personnel. Possession of this material outside scientific military supervision risks federal prosecution. Fantastic. This is a test that should only... Oh yeah, I've already read that. Why am I trying to read it again? Because I'm an idiot, that's why.
Next, practice personnel will be shown a photograph of an entity phenomenon, which has been concluded with 89% certainty to be real.
Thank you, Stephen Hawking.
The following image was captured after a fire and explosion at plastic factory in Ohio in 1978, where 14 people were fatally injured, and 10 others suffered irreversible lifelong consequences.
Okay.
Personnel are advised to observe the material under the following mandatory conditions. Failure to comply will result in capture and permanent quarantine at the study center facilities.
Alright.
Close doors and windows.
Alright, check.
Do not observe it between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m.
What time is it right now? It's 8:05 p.m. I'll be fine. A 70% occurrence of unpredictable effects has been reported during this time range.
A 70%
Fantastic.
occurrence of unpredictable effects has been reported during this time range.
Fantastic.
Do not be in the company of another human, as the real could take the form of your counterpart and transform them into a doppelganger.
Well, I'm alone in here as far as I'm aware.
If you have been diagnosed with a psychotic disorder such as schizophrenia, schizophreniform disorder, major depression, or any type of personality disorder, the probability of experiencing a panic crisis or paranoid crisis has been reported at 45% compared to other mental disorders.
Well, I might have borderline personality disorder, but that hasn't been diagnosed yet, so...
If you cannot see anything, do not take your eyes off the image. The real could be in your visual apparatus, affecting an object or physical phenomenon in your surroundings. When the image is removed, close your eyes for 40 seconds.
Okay, why? Well, I saw something there. Observe with the utmost care what would be reflected in the mirror. Oh. Cool. Stop it, I'm trying not to take my eyes off the image. Could be a woman holding... Hang on. Hang on, let me close my eyes for 40 seconds. I just saw my reflection in this monitor. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. Anyway, so what I basically saw was like it could have been either like a chair or something like that, or it could have been like a woman standing next to a little girl, like a creepy like picture along those lines. Anyway, results. 30% of people claim to have seen nothing. 30% of people claim to have seen a chair like this. I'm good. Claim to have heard a voice inside their head. Nope. 10% claim to have seen nothing behind the mirror, but they felt a tremendous terror. Nope. What the hell is that? I mean, if you saw that drawing, leave it in the comments section below. 7% of people were never seen again. Well, hopefully this video gets out. Otherwise, you know what happened. Alright, and we're going to watch one more of these. I believe I have time for that, yeah. So we'll do one more of these. And if this video doesn't get out, well, hopefully somebody finds this and puts it on the internet. That way people know what happened to me. But anyway, we're on to The Real, First Contact. Tape number 5, apparently. The White Mannequin, the most dangerous entity reported to date. 1989. 2 years before I was born. Dr. Alexander Simard, head of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases, presenting case 0014-Z-21 regarding the White Mannequin.
It happened in Toronto in 1988. The
What is it?
workers of a renowned clothing store called Salvatore Boutique in the city's downtown area reported that, for several weeks, they found a series of mannequins in different positions inside the store.
Fantastic.
The security cameras captured this, showing these figures in places where they shouldn't be.
It's probably just the living plastic from Doctor Who. No need to worry. Okay. Do I have to close my eyes for 40 seconds now?
A few weeks after these curious occurrences, the death of 3 individuals was reported. 2 female employees of the clothing store and a passerby. This all happened on the night of June 10th.
That's
The
sad.
footage of their deaths was captured by internal and external security cameras. Apparently, a figure with strange arms suddenly emerged from some of the store's mannequins and attacked the 2 women inside.
It's that Slender Man's cousins? Or Cthulhu's? I'm not sure which.
A man who happened to be passing by also suffered a fatal fate.
Ooh.
The police prohibited the disclosure of the audiovisual material. 3
Yes.
weeks later, after an apparent calm in the activity of the mannequins,
Ugh.
this image forced the permanent closure of the clothing store.
Yeah. Good job.
Half a year later, the American Security Department requested the intervention of the Canadian government for the study of these mannequins.
Why?
The team from the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases selected 2 of their top doctors to initiate the study of these strange creatures.
And they're dead now.
They were kept in a laboratory 1 kilometer deep, in a specially contained room for observation purposes for several days. The examination of this mannequin revealed a series of issues, as despite the images showing the presence of muscular material inside it, as well as relatively human-like nervous tissue,
Gross.
some members of the medical team were emphatic in stating that they never saw what the images recorded. They claimed to have only examined an ordinary mannequin made of wood and metal, which they disassembled and found nothing unusual.
Weird. Very weird. Imagine if you had to conduct a whole autopsy like that. That would be difficult. A residential horror expert should actually know what it's like to conduct an autopsy, actually. Well, sort of. I don't know. I don't remember if they've actually worked on human cadavers or not. You know who you are. Let me know.
This event led the department to conduct an exhaustive study of the nature of this entity, as well as all others that exhibited similar characteristics.
Oh, fantastic. That's probably a good thing, because we need to keep this, away from people. Tape 6. The interview. It'll be in French. Next, we will present excerpts from a transcription of the interviews conducted with 3 prisoners sentenced to life imprisonment. Are you going to put them in the room with these things? Their names are Wilder Harrington, Sterling Donovan, and Piotr Kaczmarek. The latter was the one who provided the most relevant testimony for the investigation. Okay, great. Wilder Harrington, 40 years old. I don't know, man. I told you like 3 times, 4 times already. I saw the damn thing move on the table during lunchtime. What the hell did you expect me to do? I know nobody gives a damn about my life or anything else in this goddamn world, but nobody wants to die like that. That thing could have even attacked me. No, it wasn't just a damn chair. What the hell are you telling me? Okay, Sterling Donovan, 48 years old. I saw how he tried to escape. It even told me the plan. It? I'm not stupid enough to fall for that crap, especially after seeing that what you guys did to him in the cell with those black-hooded men. No? Then who the hell else could it be? He didn't die, are you crazy? I saw him this morning. You think I'm a liar? What more do you need from a snitch? This guy, 49. There were 4 of us. You already know the names. The idiots were munching on a piece of human intestine and nobody said a damn thing. I don't know where he got it from. I don't think he killed anyone. I don't think he's one of those. What do you call them? Oh yeah, cannibals. No, he wasn't eating an apple, man. I'm telling you. He had a piece of meat in his hands. I wasn't about to start a fight over such stupidity. You guys have surveillance cameras. I know what I saw. The others idiots must have conspired to get me locked up in isolation. Okay, they're all seeing weird shit. Par for the course right now. Oh! Hello, mannequin. Where's your head? Oh, hey. We have end cards now. Alright, well that was fun. I don't know how far through the playlist we are. I'd say we're a little over halfway through. Alright, well, I guess we'll press on through at least one more of these. Classified materials for internal use only of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigations case is 1992, the year after I was born. The chosen ones for the clinical trials: AA, divorce, age 52, mechanic, Waco, Texas. Oh. Something not too great is going to happen in your hometown here soon. Maybe he's one of the Branch Davidians. That's why it says divorced. David Koresh stole his freaking wife. Because he did that sort of thing. GRA, 55, married, housewife. That's not an occupation. Farmington, Utah, kidney disease. Okay. HD, 41, married, occupation, veterinarian, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. No illnesses to report. I didn't get the first guy's illnesses, but who cares? HF, 38, single, computer scientist, Pittsburgh, thyroid disorders. Disorders, plural? Okay, fine. JR, 50, single, occupation, not specified, Charlotte, North Carolina, alcoholism. Name, Freddie Mercury, 28, single, not specified, Ocala, Florida, not specified. LD, 31, single, salesman, New Haven, Connecticut, diabetes. NW, 28, single, occupation, student, Sacramento, California, medical history, no illness. Good. Name, OA, 28, status married, occupation, teacher, Eugene, Oregon, medical history, smoking. Okay, that's not good. This guy's swollen. RY, 33, divorced. Chef, Cabo Carol. Oh, he has GERD. Okay, never. Oh, wait, that's like heartburn and stuff. ZT, 18, single, student, New York, New York, medical history, no illnesses. Fantastic. 4 modes of the prime mover of the real.
Jacques-Alain Miller, gendre et héritier intellectuel de Jacques Lacan, a repris les derniers enseignements du maître.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna let that soak in at all if I don't read it. Jacques-Alain Miller, son-in-law and intellectual heir of Jacques Lacan.
Miller, gendre et héritier intellectuel de Jacques Lacan, a repris les
Jacques Lacan took up the master's final
derniers
teachings.
enseignements du maître.
The master. That's the master right there.
Les derniers contours de la
The last outline of the theory he was working on before his
théorie
death.
sur lesquelles il travaillait avant sa mort, afin
To approach the ultimate definition of the real.
d'aborder la définition finale du réel, le concept le plus
The most complex concept of the psychoanalytical work.
complexe de son travail psychanalytique, définissant le
Defining the real as something distinct from sense and, moreover, different from knowledge.
réel comme quelque chose de différent
Real
du
sense
sensé,
knowledge.
en outre, distinct du savoir.
So it's between sense and nonsense. Got it. It operates according to the concept that should not be understood as a mere
Il
force.
fonctionne selon un concept qui ne doit pas être compris comme une simple force,
That's what I said. The real enjoys the bodies of everyday life.
mais plutôt
That's
comme un
terrifying. But rather as a concept divided into 4 modes of
concept
action.
divisé en 4 modes d'action, allant du
Okay.
discours au
Ranging from
semblant de la
discourse
réalité,
to semblance
la
of reality, oh god, that's terrifying. Or the way in which the real enjoys the bodies of reality.
manière dont le réel jouit des corps de la réalité.
Imaginary.
La jouissance imaginaire,
Je suis non. Je suis. Jouissance. I don't know how to pronounce that. The imaginary, I don't know, is understood as an
est
obstacle.
comprise comme un obstacle à la perception de la
Obstacle. Object. To perceive everyday reality as a barrier to the symbolic elaboration of individuals. It becomes impossible to call this an apple. Who is it now?
la réalité quotidienne comme une barrière à
It will
l'élaboration
be called something
symbolique des
else.
individus. Cette jouissance
This imaginary
imaginaire s'intériorise
whatever
dans le langage
is
et altère
internalized
la
in language
représentation
and alters the linguistic representation of the semblance.
linguistique du semblant.
The significance of
La signification de la
involves a transposition of images into
jouissance
symbols.
implique une transposition des images
Oh.
en symboles.
The apple is seen with characteristics that are not proper to it. It projects an image of itself that does not correspond to its nature. Okay, I'm starting to think that some of these were AI generated 6 months ago. Very much could be AI generated.
Les concepts des semblants quotidiens sont réécrits et la réalité prend des caractéristiques visibles qui lui sont propres, même si elles ne font pas partie de sa nature originale.
The impossible
La jouissance impossible permet la
allows for the significance of
signification de la jouissance. Ce
This paradigm implies a substitution of repression for defense.
paradigme implique un remplacement de la répression par la défense.
When disjunction occurs, a breaking of logic, the real emerges violently as after a trauma. In the disjunction between the original symbols and the
Dans la
real,
disjonction du symbole originel avec le réel,
an ominous breach opens up in people's
une brèche
experience,
effrayante s'ouvre dans l'expérience des individus, entraînant
bringing with it violence and physical and or psychic destruction.
avec elle violence et destruction physique et ou psychique.
Fragmental
La jouissance
fragmented becomes fragmented in the psychic drives own object.
fragmentée se fragmente dans l'objet propre de la pulsion
More
psychique
terrifying
des individus.
images. The impossible enters everyday reality through the perforated object of nonsense. I told you it was somewhere between sense and nonsense, didn't I?
Individus, à la
Both individually and collectively, this object is the presence of a
fois
whole.
individuellement et collectivement. Cet objet est la présence d'un vide, d'un
A void that allows as a breach the entrance into everyday reality.
creux qui permet, en tant que brèche, l'entrée dans la réalité quotidienne.
Okay, fantastic. Did that look like a bunch of cockroaches writhing around in intestines to anyone else? Tape number 9. Please tell me it's in English. It happened in Spokane, Washington State, 1990. There's a face over there. Right there. That right there, definitely a face. Security camera in wooded areas set up to protect animals. I noticed one night that some nocturnal creature had disappeared. Suspicion fell on a couple of men who had been camping and having bonfires in protected areas of the park. They were probably the victims, too. Security personnel went out to patrol the area after hearing some strange noises resembling explosions and chilling screams. Okay, so apparently these people were military personnel. The records didn't find significant evidence that there was no trace of the campers. Well, that sucks for the campers, now doesn't it? That's not a bunny. Until the cameras captured some rabbits that were in delicate condition, apparently injured. Those are the campers! Oh my god. Upon re-exploring the park and the nearby areas of the city, the following was discovered through the body cameras. This is how the strangers in White Stag Education's videos are made. This is exactly how they're made right here. Oh, hello. Hey, Mr. Rabbit. Oh, that not good. The mannequin found was returned to a nearby workshop that claimed it days later. Well, that's a bit strange. That's teeth. The strange events didn't end there, as some inexplicable images were found on the static camera in the park. Yeah. I think, okay, maybe those are the campers. Yep. Yep. Tape number 10. The commercial video was displayed for 6 months in 1956 on American television at random hours between 11 and 9:30. Okay, fantastic. We're about to see some spooky stuff. This car could be yours. Be a successful man. You will be allowed these luxuries. You will achieve a successful marriage. Join us for science, win amazing prizes, and $10,000 in cash. So not just an amazing prize, but also $10,000 in cash. You know the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. Send your application by postal mail. To the office... Oops, too far. To the offices of the Department of... Oh, no, God, that's not good. Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases. Or ARIS. ARIS? ARIS. 8th Avenue, blah, 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 Manhattan. We need you for the good of the nation. Okay. Its purpose to recruit individuals to track and study strange phenomenon that mental health sciences were investigating outside public knowledge. Alright, well, this seems like a bad idea, but you know what? Whatever. 40 years later, the individuals who submitted the application, as well as their children and grandchildren, became part of the clinical trial program. Scary that they're getting children and grandchildren involved in all this. Oh, the screen changed. I didn't notice that. To provide empirical evidence of the real and study the postulates of and Miller from a positive science perspective. What's so positive about it? Tape 11. Just moving on.
Dr.
Okay.
Alexander Samard presents to the scientific community of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases the clinical trial.
Okay.
11 American citizens were chosen in 1991 to be directly exposed to certain objects that were captured due to their high probability of being corrupted by the real.
Yeah, we already know that.
For the safety of the department's personnel, the participants were isolated in heavily shielded rooms within the experimentation area.
All right.
The objectives of the trial were as follows. First, to study the interaction of the objects with the human mind. Second,
Okay.
to study the physical implications of contact with the real. Third, to study the potential breaches that open up in the everyday world when the real is disturbed.
What could possibly go wrong? The following images were taken by surveillance cameras inside each of the containment cells. The images have lost quality due to the disturbances of the real. Oh, well, that's a lovely face if ever I did see one. The one on the left, not the one on the right. Subject AA, isolation cell. Ah, they seem to be having a good old time. He's ordered to stand for 3 hours next to the mannequin. Okay, so he was told to do that. Nothing happened to him. Well, that's good, isn't it? GRA, isolation cell 2. She was ordered to sit for 6 hours in front of a porcelain statue of a goose. Nothing happened to her. Again, that's good, right? I think that's good. Isolation cell 3, HD. She was ordered to sit for 5 hours in front of a mannequin. After 4 hours, the mannequin started talking, taking her form. That is eerie and not at all good. And the woman began to fade away. Oh, wow. Well, sucks to be her, I guess. Subject AFF, overwhelmed by panic, attempted to escape from isolation cell 4. He started screaming in excruciating pain in his back. Okay. After an hour, he eventually melted into a black substance. He probably should have gotten that checked out sooner. Oh god, what is going on with that face? So JR in the isolation cell 5 was ordered to brush his teeth with a charred complex. Okay, so that's supposed to look like that, apparently. She was instructed to show the state of his teeth every 5 minutes. The pronouns are a bit off, but I'll forgive it. Eventually, she was unable to stand up again. Her face started being eroded by the toothpaste. This is basically just torturing people for science, I guess, which is illegal. Subject KR, isolation cell number 6, doesn't have a head anymore, which is probably not a good thing. He was ordered to sit next to the mannequin for 6 hours. Nothing happened to him. The mannequin simply adopted a similar posture. Alright, fantastic. What is going on in here? Subject LD in isolation cell 7, as soon as he sat down, transformed into a statue. Well, frick. He's now a weeping angel. Make sure you stare directly at him and don't blink. If you ever see him, just don't blink. Subject NW, isolation cell 8. He was ordered to sit for 3 hours in front of a porcelain statue of a goose. Nothing happened to him. OA, isolation cell 9. She was ordered to sit in front of a wooden cube and interact with it for an indefinite period of time. And then what happened? She claimed that worms started coming out of the cube and filling the room. Are you sure they're not on drugs or maybe already suffer from psychiatric disorders? Because I'm starting to suspect things. But the images did not show anything as she described. Fascinating. Means she's crazy. RY, isolation cell 10. He was ordered to sit on the floor and place a bag over his head for 2 hours. That's disturbing. The man only reported dizziness and a slight headache. Oh, thank goodness. Probably because he was starved of oxygen for 2 hours. Subject DT, isolation cell 11. He was also ordered to sit on the floor and place a bag over his head, but for 5 hours. He did not survive. The cause of death appeared to be a cardiopulmonary arrest. His heart and lungs just stopped working. That's what happens when you tie the bag too tight, guys. I don't know if you know this, but people need air to live. In the cells 3, 4, 5, 8, and 10, 2 hours after the test, the following individuals or entities appeared on camera whose identities could not be determined. Ah, interesting. Let's see it. Let's see it. I'm curious now. Their nature is unknown, but they were likely an effect of the real. Just show us already. Ooh. Ah, that one has a hole in its face. Oh, that one's terrifying. Gosh, why is that one terrifying? It looks the most normal, but yet the most soulless, if that makes sense. That one straight up looks like the girl from The Exorcist after she's been, you know, demon-possessed. That one's happy.
After the tests, the survivors were taken to the annihilation chamber.
Oh, that's
where they
not
were
good.
exposed to the strangest object of the real ever studied. The chamber itself.
Oh. Well. I guess they're not getting that $10,000 in prize at the end of that. What happened? The video just ended. Okay, what is all this? Okay. Something is going horribly wrong. This is after the events of Waco, by the way. Okay, what are we... Ooh. Ooh. Well, that's not good. The Rupo creature. Sorry. 1995.
The head of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases, Dr. Alexander Simard, presents a new reality anomaly that could potentially
The
constitute
nightmare.
another instance of the real. This study commenced with isolated reports in the state of Texas from child psychologists, who, as is customary, find themselves dealing with cases of night terrors, phobias, school adaptation, among others.
Well, that pretty much explains everything about Texas. Like, the whole thing. If you've ever been to Texas, you'll understand.
In the realm of psychology, imaginary friends are regarded as a wholly normal phase in the development of a child's psyche. In fact, it is even beneficial for fostering creativity that children invent beings in their imagination.
Is it though?
The descriptions and drawings they create of these unreal entities are sometimes vague, but at other times, exceedingly realistic.
Uh-huh. Alright. So I guess I gotta read again. Ansley Prescott, age 35, provides insight into the behaviors of her 6-year-old daughter, Delphine, and shares one of the drawings Delphine made. She's always running around in the yard. She says her imaginary friend, whatever, is as tall as she is, and that she loves the teddy bears. Ainsley explains. Somwe, I believe is the name. Sometimes I catch her talking to herself in the backyard near a large dollhouse we gifted her. She mentions that she always has something to talk about with Somwe. The psychologist assured me that there's nothing wrong with it, that she'll outgrow it with time. And then what happened? Included are drawings by Delphine featuring her imaginary friend Somwe. To the left Somwe, to the right Delphine. Okay, well, they look almost identical except for the hairstyle.
Throughout the year 1994, numerous psychologists, neurologists, and psychiatrists across Texas began to receive a significant influx of patients, all of whom were children, reporting incidents of uncontrollable crying at night, stories of monsters seemingly attacking them in their sleep paralysis, as well as bizarre descriptions of some of their imaginary friends.
I mean, this could be a night terror, but who knows?
Initially, these cases didn't cause much alarm until they started dramatically multiplying throughout the entire state, exhibiting certain commonalities that, according to the scientific perspective, were entirely inexplicable. Between February and November of 1994, only 15 cases with similar or identical characteristics regarding the description of a particular imaginary friend had been recorded.
Ooh,
However,
seems to be...
it was only between December 1994 and January 1995 that the number surged to 439.
That's quite a jump there. Descriptions of the imaginary friend. SE, 7 years old. It's really big, kind of dark, and it looks out the window every night. Dad says it's just the trash bags. Dad's a moron. Dad's a big moron. Kiara, 6 years old. Mom and Dad never see it. It scares me a lot when they take out the garbage. I'd be scared too, little kid. Is she 8 years old? I saw it last night and the last week. I think it wants to tell me something because it always peeks through the window. Yeah, don't let it in. It's the Babadook. Ra, 7 years old. It has big red eyes. Sometimes my room turns red. The light is different. It's the Babadook.
The descriptions from the 439 children during the 2 months of sudden increase had the following commonalities. A tall, dark-colored entity.
It has no hands.
Texture resembling a garbage bag. Bright, red eyes. Lacking hands. emitting a terrifying and highly unusual noise. Desperately attempting to enter through windows. None of the parents had seen it. Appears to be named Rupo.
Why
Some parents
Rupo?
took photographs of what the children were pointing to on
Place
certain
where
nights
children
as the
point to
presence of
Rupo appeared.
However,
Well,
these
interesting.
turned out to be nothing more than garbage bags in the backyards of the houses.
Interesting. Yep, definitely nothing. Just children with wild imaginations, that's it. Examinations from the Fort Worth
In April 1995, the Fort Worth Neuroimaging Center made
Yeah,
the
that place.
decision to select a group of children for examination using the modern functional magnetic resonance imaging procedure, along with magnetoencephalography and single photon emission computed tomography.
Lots of big words there.
The findings resulting from the medical analyses conducted on the children presented an alarming and enigmatic panorama, challenging any conventional explanation. A disconcerting pattern emerged, appearing to impact the occipital lobe and adjacent brain regions, leading to a notably heightened general cerebral activity, surpassing even the levels associated with epileptic episodes. Moreover,
Wow.
anomalies in the form of pointed structures localized within the cranial cavity were identified.
So, spike tumors, got it.
Of particular significance is the fact that, in a surprising turn of events, all the children involved in the study maintained a state of vitality. This phenomenon posed an unparalleled enigma within medical practice, as the
Hang on. This is not normal what we're seeing here. This is pretty much just mush right here. Some kind of mush is actually causing one entire hemisphere to like almost like just blow up like a balloon and press the other hemisphere against the other side of the skull. That is just terrifying in and of itself. I don't like this.
The results seemed to suggest conditions that significantly defied known parameters of life sustenance.
You think?
These observations challenged the very foundations of organic viability and presented a formidable hurdle to contemporary scientific comprehension.
He got restless in the middle of the night and shifted one hemisphere of his brain to a more comfortable position. Okay, the hallucination suspected activity when Rupo is remembered is dangerously higher than normal state of activity, recorded by SPECT. Interesting. Interesting finds. Capturing Rupo. Whoever Rupo
Following
is.
the results of these examinations, the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases took action and placed 3 houses in San Antonio, 2 in Fort Worth, and 5 in Houston under strict control.
Let's just give Rupo
Various
Texas. We won't be
investigative
missing
groups
much.
stayed in each of these houses for a month, hoping to find analog or digital evidence and means to capture any record of this entity. On several occasions, the presence of the children was requested during the initiation of recordings from the window.
Well, that's fantastic. Various scenarios were experimented with involving both video and audio with the presence of people or the house. Okay.
The outcomes were nothing short of astonishing.
Oh. Photographs were taken between August. Well, there's Rupo. Hello. Despite the climatic conditions of the area, when a camera was pointed outside, the temperature dropped drastically. Wow. Additionally, a large amount of dew droplets fogged both the windows and the camera lens inside the house. Well, that one doesn't have eyes. It can't be Rupo.
Despite photographic documentation, capturing the creature proved impossible. In fact, it was only visible through cameras, unlike the children who saw it with their own eyes. Nonetheless, a highly significant piece of evidence for the investigation was the acquisition of an astounding phonographic recording of the noise emitted by Rupo.
Okay, what's this going to sound like? The following recording was made in a house in San Antonio on September 5th, 1995. Weird.
This noise was confirmed by the children after hearing it from the computer.
Ooh.
After the photographic and phonographic records, the Rupo creature was not seen again.
Huh. Well, he got what he wanted. He just wanted to be seen.
and the minors who exhibited cerebral alterations were permanently placed under medical supervision of the department led by Dr. Alexander Simard,
Looks more like they're about to be executed. Please don't do that.
awaiting their evolution.
Okay, well, is the video just going to end there? Well, apparently yes, because we're now on to the last video, I think. Yep, on the last video of the playlist. I wasn't expecting to get this far through it, but here we are. Okay, more reading. Hang on. The following record corresponds to the French television recording of Jacques' visits to Caracas, where he was invited to lecture on the real, on the discovery of the Venezuelan and Argentinian Lacanian school in the Brazilian jungle. The material was permanently stored in Radio France's warehouse due to the International NATO Committee's refusal. Can't pronounce French words, but I can pronounce some of those. The last class of Lacan.
En 1980, le docteur
Fuck, I have to read again. In 1980, Dr. Joseph, at the age of 80, made one of the few trips to Latin
Jacques
America.
Lacan, à l'âge de 80 ans,
Jacques Lacan.
effectua l'un de ses rares voyages en Amérique latine.
Curiously, it is in that part of the world where his work has had the most significant
c'est
impact.
dans cette partie du monde que son œuvre s'est le plus largement
Jacques
répandue.
Lacan.
La fondation
The Freudian Field Foundation invited him to attend their annual congress in July as a unique opportunity.
du champ freudien lui a demandé de participer au congrès annuel en juillet, à seulement un an de sa mort,
Just 1 year before his death, to deliver his final speech regarding his formulation on the real.
pour qu'il puisse prononcer son dernier discours sur ses formulations concernant le réel. En raison de son état de
Due to his evident poor health, delivering a lecture like the ones well known from his seminars.
santé évidemment précaire, il lui fut difficile de donner un cours comme ceux-ci bien connus dans ses séminaires.
Edited by Jacques-Alain Miller, proved to be quite a challenge.
Édité par Jacques-Alain Miller. Cependant,
Nevertheless, it was a tremendous opportunity to bring his teachings, which left
cela fut une opportunité majeure pour clore un enseignement qui avait laissé tant
so many questions and opened so many doors for further research to a close.
d'interrogations en suspens, qui avait ouvert tant de portes à des recherches diverses. Avec son discours inaugural,
His inaugural speech marked the beginning of 4 days, most full auditoriums.
4 journées ont été initiées, la plupart avec des auditoires complets, où chacun
Where each speaker had attendance of the renowned French psychoanalyst.
intervenant a eu la chance d'avoir la présence du célèbre psychanalyste français. Lors de cette
During this gathering, which was attended by renowned psychoanalysts such as Dr. Rabinovich,
réunion,
attempts
à laquelle ont participé des psychanalystes renommés tels que le docteur Rabinovich, les dernières grandes
were made to resolve the last major question surrounding the concept of the real,
interrogations entourant le concept de réel, qui
which until then had remained
jusqu'alors
unproven.
n'avaient pas pu être démontrés, ont été abordés. Cependant,
However, Jacques Lacan was in for a great surprise during the final presentation by members.
une grande surprise attendait Jacques Lacan lors de la dernière présentation des membres de la fondation du champ
Of the Freudian Field Foundation, in collaboration with specialists from Venezuela, Argentina, and Brazil.
freudien, en collaboration avec des spécialistes vénézuéliens, argentins et brésiliens. Matteux de Souza
Matthias de Souza Bruckner recounted to the French psychiatrist to the expedition that took place in the
Bruckner a raconté au psychiatre français l'expédition qui a eu lieu en Amazonie brésilienne
Brazilian Amazon in
en
1979.
1979. Lui et un groupe de
Together with a group of scientists, students, and members of the foundation, they ventured into
d'étudiants et de membres de la Fondation se sont enfoncés dans la nature
The untamed wilderness in search of a peculiar place that had been studied by an indigenous group.
sauvage à la recherche d'un lieu étrange étudié par un groupe indigène. Ils appelaient
They refer to this place as Pedrito do Nene's Sanctuary, a
cet
mythological
endroit le sanctuaire de Pedrito do Nene, une divinité mythologique de la
deity of Macumba related to the underworld.
Macumba liée au monde souterrain. Ce sanctuaire
Sure looks like it's related to the underworld. This sanctuary was a kind of large pond with black bubbling waters.
était une sorte de grand étang d'eau noire, bouillonnante, où une vaste quantité d'animaux exotiques
In which a vast number of exotic animals had
avaient
submerged.
plongé. Les indigènes disaient que dans
The indigenous people mentioned that in this pond, something
cet
different,
étang, on voyait toujours quelque chose de différent, quelque
something inexplicable, was always
chose
seen.
d'inexplicable.
Gross. Is that Rubo?
Quelque chose sur lequel personne ne pouvait
Something on which no one could ever agree. They call it transmutation.
toujours être d'accord. Ils l'ont appelé transmutation. Les membres de l'expédition
The Foundation's expedition members decided to take some
de
samples
la Fondation ont décidé de prélever des échantillons de cet étang et ont décidé
from this pond and study it, believing it could be a manifestation
de
of the real.
l'étudier, convaincus
Well,
qu'il
quite possibly,
pouvait
but we
s'agir
don't
d'un
know.
réel.
Divers objects Depôts de noir. Black objects found by the divers? I don't know. But yeah, this is how a bunch of people are gonna die now.
Ils ont attendu jusqu'à l'année suivante
Oh, different objects extracted from the black water. I was so close. They waited until the following year to present it explicitly to Dr. Jacques Lacan at the closing of the major conference. I skipped ahead for some reason.
pour le présenter explicitement au docteur Jacques Lacan lors de la grande conférence de clôture. Le 15 juillet,
On July 15th, during the last session of the conference, says a Bruckner's team brought a large metal box.
lors de la dernière section de la conférence, l'équipe de Sousa Bruckner a apporté une énorme boîte métallique dans l'une des salles.
In one of the rooms containing the samples obtained from the stagnant water in the Amazon. I keep skipping ahead on accident.
Salle, contenant à l'intérieur les échantillons prélevés dans la mare d'eau en Amazonie. En raison
Due to the significance of this unexpected appearance, it was decided to hold the grand closure in.
de l'importance de cette apparition inattendue, il a été décidé de clôturer la grande conférence dans la salle principale.
The Foundation's main hall, where Dr. Lacan was invited to observe the contents of the box. I can't see this ending any other way than positively well.
De la Fondation, où le docteur Lacan a été invité à examiner le contenu de la boîte. À l'intérieur,
Inside, there was a vast sample of the pond's contents.
il y avait un énorme échantillon du contenu du bassin.
Those are worms.
Apparemment,
Over time, a certain form of life had apparently grown inside it.
au fil
It sure looks that way, yes.
du temps, une forme de vie y avait prospéré. Du moins,
At least that's what Dr. Jacques Lacan mentioned, seeing it as another member of the team.
c'est ce que le docteur Jacques Lacan a déclaré avoir vu, car un autre membre de l'équipe a noté
Observed that the water was turning silver with small pebbles that seemed to float. So they're seeing two different things. Fantastic.
que l'eau prenait une teinte argentée avec de petites pierres qui semblaient flotter.
It's looking right at me. This must be Rupo.
Le docteur Lacan est resté
Dr. Lacan spent at least 30 minutes examining one of the specimens,
à examiner l'un des spécimens pendant au moins 30 minutes alors que Matteux de Souza
while Matthias de Souza Bruckner presented in front of him.
Bruckner présentait
Okay.
devant lui.
Lacan's observant. Blah blah blah.
La transcription
The original transcription of Lacan's final speech was in
originale du discours de clôture de Lacan a été entre les mains du groupe français
the possessions of the French group Stafferla for 7 years.
cette affaire-là pendant quelques années. Jacques-Alain Millet,
Jacques-Alain Millet, responsible for compiling Dr. Lacan's work, considered including it in the printed seminars.
chargé de la compilation de l'œuvre du docteur Lacan, avait envisagé de l'inclure dans les séminaires imprimés sur papier.
This is a lot of French I had to
Cependant,
translate.
malgré sa décision
Okay, Lacan granted transcription rights to Stafferla Foundation. However, despite his decision to incorporate it as the closing speech of Seminar 27,
de l'intégrer comme discours de clôture du séminaire 27,
alongside the last classes of the French psychoanalyst,
côté des derniers cours du psychanalyste français, le groupe
the Stafferla group did not agree to grant the rights.
Stafferla n'a pas accepté de céder les droits.
Curious and curiouser. Okay, upon the commencement of these investigations by the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation, Dr. Alexander Simard authorized the confiscation by military bodies of the transcription of Jacques Lacan's final speech, which was kept in a safe deposit box at 5 Rue de Lille, Paris, France. Alright, so they're trying to cover some stuff up. Fantastic. The final speech of Dr. Lacan is presented below, which moreover observes as one of the major pieces of evidence for the confirmation of the existence of the real as an interruption in everyday life. This material, furthermore, gave rise to what would later be established as the Clinic of the Real by Jacques-Alain Miller as Guillermo Lopez.
In the same way I mentioned in my inaugural speech,
Oh, hey,
that
English.
80 years of my life have passed for me to come to Latin America, especially here in Venezuela, to share my latest findings with my most loyal, but hitherto unknown students has been a momentous experience. This is not the closing speech I had originally planned, because after the memorable and highly significant presentation by Dr. Matthias de Souza Bruckner, I am truly astonished. It is necessary to make a turn in my final presentation. You, who are here, have clearly witnessed that my research work on what I have termed the register of the real has been, even for myself, a shocking reality, to use a redundancy. The Mobius position of the phenomenon that Dr. Souza Bruckner has exposed encapsulates the most significant of my topological propositions, which, as you already know, have marked the final shift in my classes. I have been brought here, from the depths of the wildest Brazil, a substance that Dr. Diana Rabinovich had already proposed certain conjectures about in terms of the characteristics of Euler-Poincaré's surfaces. However, I must say that here we are in the presence of what I have called an intricacy of jouissance of a Riemann surface. Let us see how this object, apparently so simple, liquid, and obscure, is capable of eliciting the most varied experiences when symbolically apprehended in what I call the register of the imaginary, from the alienated image to the perforated discourse of the social, as crossed by the first signifier within the toric figure. I have noticed that, just as I have seen it, here is a figure with a pair of eyes. However, some have attested in this very container silver and gold gemstones. A couple of students have disagreed with my word and yours, arguing that what they have seen on this stage are nothing more than books with red covers. This is precisely what I have theorized throughout my life. The real. It is that plane of Mobius surfaces that can access this symbolic plane outside of the same sociocultural symbol. At my age and with my health condition, my intellect will not allow me to advance in the delineations of this topological phenomenon. I have left the progress of my theory in capable hands. Thank you very much for your dedication to this Congress dedicated to the discussion of my work. Be diligent in your investigations. I will declare not only this grand event, but also my own school devoted to the register of the real closed.
Okay, well, it just ends there. So that all sounded like nonsense to me. Is that really how the whole thing ends? Holy wow. Wow. Okay, so, yeah, wow. Okay, look, this is, yeah, wow. Yeah, wow. Okay, well, that's, yep. Yeah, these guys have a lot of different things on their channel. So we got The Real and The Real Season 2, and we've got all of this, including the weird store on the deep web. Yeah, I don't know what most of this is, but maybe I should look into this channel a little bit further because I think I got content for quite a while on here. So that was Season 1. Definitely interesting. I might do the next season. I don't know, but like for most of it, like there wasn't as much like action, so to speak, if that makes sense. It was just more like creepy observations and stuff like that, kind of like SCP, stuff like that, almost like you're kind of observing the real, which is interesting in its own right. But so, I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought of this in the comment section down below. I will probably be doing a video on Season 2, especially since it's only got 4 videos in it right now. I don't think it's, yeah, I think they're probably posting more because it's the latest, the first was released 3 months ago. So yeah, there might also be more being released from these guys, but we're going to go through this entire season in its own video, which is going to be a little bit of a shorter video. But for now, let me know what you guys thought of this in the comment section down below, or you can tell us over on the Discord server, which will be linked in the description. If you guys want to help support the channel, become a member of the Meme Cult by subscribing and ringing the bell, all that stuff, getting notified. And if you want to help support the channel further, like I said before, it helps out a lot if you guys become a channel member and pay your tithe there. It'll help me make these videos and make them better than I already do. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to show me some love down below by hitting the like button, and don't forget to check out the annotations for more videos. Now we'll see you in the next video.